and the work that federal scientists do. Congressman Tonko, I know that you have, I live in Washington, D.C. I don't actually have a member of Congress, but if I did, I'd want one like you. You have been a champion for scientific integrity with the Scientific Integrity Act and other work you've done. So, but why this issue? Why do you spend your time working on this?
Certainly. Before I answer that question, Michael Halpern, let me thank you for serving as moderator and for appearing before the committees in Congress to testify in defense of scientific integrity. Thank you, President Madden, and the entire team at Siena for being our host. Thank you to the Union of Concerned Scientists and CapSci for being our partners this evening to provide a forum that I think is very much about engaging the public on what is a very important guideline that ought to accompany all levels of government. And thank you to my fellow panelists for sharing your professional and certainly deep-rooted experience on behalf of tonight's discussion and dialogue. As many of you might know, I represent the 20th Congressional District, which is 5 counties here in the greater capital region. And while I was in the State Assembly for some time, my last 15 years in the State Assembly were as chair of the Energy Committee, which has in and of itself a certain order of research that's required in science. I have drafted, authored, with the help of tremendous coworkers, thank you, Emily, and others who have enabled us to now put our name on a bill called Scientific Integrity Act that is before the House. It's circulating before the House. I've been working the floor very hard. We have in excess of 200 sponsors, to be exact, 213, but who's counting? And as an engineer, I respect science. I embrace science. It's the engineer in me as a problem solver that wants to reach the facts, not fiction, that requires science in order for a sustainable outcome. And so we have authored this measure because of the concern. I've had this concern for many, many years at different levels of government in which I've served as a representative. But now it's been more pronounced as I serve in the House of Representatives. And for me, with my assignment as chair of the Subcommittee on Environment and Climate Change, it means that we have allowed for a federal bit of inaction when it comes to the issue of our times, a climate crisis that needs to be responded to with urgency and in robust fashion. So I think it's so important to have scientific integrity guiding the federal agencies that govern the outcome of the research that is paid for by federal tax dollars. So wherever these science agencies rest with their research, there should be a guiding force. Said another way, when we talk about the consequences, every time there's this allowed distortion or manipulation, it means losses to the taxpayer, to the general public of this great country. That may come in the form of losses of aggressive programs that can go towards treatment of disease, conquering illnesses, providing hope for individuals in a scientific sense. It's certainly the loss of opportunity for the economy, which is very important. It's about the loss of so many vital statistics out there that govern how we do things. It's the loss of wages for dollars that are spent needlessly because we've held back research. And it certainly is the loss sometimes of property due to flooding and environmental crises like wildfires. And it certainly, in its deepest and most profound sense, is the loss of precious loved ones. So we have it within our power, within our intellect, and within our discipline to require scientific integrity. The bill which I've authored and sponsored, H.R. 1709, the Scientific Integrity Act, would put together the watchdog status within these agencies. It would allow for standardization across our agencies. It would allow for that watchdog to incorporate scientists within that agency in a panel format to decipher just where that research is and to make certain that to the letter and spirit of that assignment, that is what the taxpayer is getting. So I think it speaks to what I see out there. I was with many people in this congressional district to March for Science. I saw how long those lines were. I saw the passion. I saw the devotion. I saw the demand for action. And so they're calling for us to respect people from single-digit age group to high school students looking at a science career to students at the Albany Medical College program for doctor studies, on to just concerned citizens. All of them demanding respect for science. HR 1709 respects science. It asks that we have the watchdog status, that we go forward with every ounce of integrity so that the outcome is truly providing an effective and sustainable response to present-day needs that leave us in better order of stewardship for the generations that will follow us, and providing for the interweaving of hope in their lives as we move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman. And you see the banner from that March for Science here in Albany right behind us. Science, not silence. Again, the hashtag for the evening. Yeah, I think the congressman was one of the people who was walking in front holding it.